So I wanted to basically show you what do I eat in a week. So this is going to be the week 3 update, and this is what I eat. So starting with like the breakfast, I'm going to have my steel cut oats. I'm going to have my chocolate, maybe a little spicy that I'm not going to have in there. What else am I going to be going through this week ingredient wise? I have my teas. That's another thing that I'll be having. I'll be going through some beans, and yes, some sauce for the couscous, which is right here, couscous. I also will be using, this week I'll be having sweet yams instead of potatoes. Sweet, tasty, rather good price, healthy. I will be going through kale, mega super vegetable. Also, for protein source, because I'm not having any meat this week at home, I have broccoli. I will also be using garlic. I love this. This is cheap. It's cost me $2.50, and it's frozen vegetables. All you gotta do is steam it up, maybe even throw it in frozen. And when you warm it up in the microwave with your meal to warm it back up, it's gonna be cooked. So this is a very cheap but efficient way to get vegetables. It has carrots, wax beans, green beans, corn, and peas. So cheap way to get awesome fruit. Then what I also be going through a lot, which I'm going to be replacing most of my meals with if I can, is these frozen fruits. I have 2 different kinds of berries and whatnot. I'll be replacing them because I'm going to be adding them with lots and lots of spinach and kale, and be making my juices. And for a little extra protein source, because I'm not putting meat in this week, I'll be using wheat germ. That's what I'll be using. So, and my little cheating, when I want a little cheat and have a little something to snack on, I get these Cheez-Its, and they're not horrible. Chips, a lot of these chips that I like have like 22, 23 grams of fat. This one only has 4 grams of fat, and I can eat 18 crackers. So, and they're cheese and they're good. So for me, it was the okay compromise. And salt. Salt's pretty much in everything that I do. This is what I eat in a week, just to give you an example. At home. Now, doesn't mean when I go out somewhere that I have to eat only these ingredients. But these are relatively good price. I pay about $5 for one of these, considering the health. Broccoli costs like $3. These big, 4 kilograms of fruit cost me 20 bucks. $2.50. Like $3 for it's like $2.50 for like 3 of these. Nested teas cost money, so I mean, it's not that expensive. Add it all together, you got to calculate how much protein, how much carbs you want in essence. But I do that on an easy scale. I don't really measure it out. I make sure, do I have protein? So like, I had the broccoli, has protein in it. The couscous, that was protein in it. The beans, that was protein in it. So I try to pull it from somewhere, and I try to get some healthy carbs from, the yams out of the meal. So I try to figure out what I want, put them together on a price, and this is what I eat in a week. Thank y'all. Here, we got broccoli tops, we got broccoli bottoms, roasting, and I'm using water right now because I don't have any olive oil, and peanut oil was just too aggressive. I got chopped up garlic over here, chopped up mushrooms over here. I got the couscous, got the corn, got sweet potatoes, water boiling. Oh, time to throw in the couscous now. Got these going, these little sweet potatoes, yellow yams, whatever you want to call them. Got these going over here. Got these, what I did with this is basically I was using the steam off of it. That's why I'm just using steam to do it. It's already done. Now it's time to throw in the broccoli. I'll let this go. The final things that I'll add once this is cooked basically is the spinach, the garlic, and the onions. Now, yes, my garlic, if you can see here, has begun growing. You know what? So what? I'm still going to eat it, even if it's starting to grow. And the mushrooms, well, I don't want to cook them too much, but I don't want it to still taste too earthy. So, I'll work that out. And, yeah, this is what I'm going to be eating this week. As well as salt and, the sauce. Actually, the sauce. See, wait a minute. Okay, the reason why I use this sauce, it's sweet, it's yummy. You know, have you ever eaten at Asian places and basically, you know, you have your egg roll, and these are the sauces that are on, you know, General Tao or whatnot. And this is a very good filler. It was $2.50, and a lot goes a lot of ways. And so when I throw this in, it just makes everything taste good. You know, kind of. I don't know. I just like using these sauces. Now this one's the plum. Usually I use cherry or sweet and sour. But yeah. Now I'm going to drain it. But what I also will tend to do is when I'm about to mash it, I'll leave some water at the bottom. These have all the juices and vitamins, and instead of using milk, well, I use basically just the water to make it moist. And milk doesn't last as long, nor does it have the same nutrients that you were going to throw away. And sweet. So now the point was that I don't want my meal to be dry. I'm going to mash that up. I'm going to dump it in here. But over here, my meal is done. Basically, I put the spinach in, the garlic, everything is all in there. It's warming up. Now I just got to drain off some of the water that I used. This water I don't want to have in the meal. And there we go. Dump this in. Look at all that colors. Dump in the remaining vegetables. Yes, they're frozen, but they're flash frozen, and it's a better way of having them if you can't get them fresh and want to chop them all up. Give that a stir, and there's so much. Now this is basically non-meat protein based meal. It's all veggie. Okay, just dump that in. All that goodness out of the pot. Drop that in here. Mix this up. Now, yes, it seems weird to be adding mashed, you know, sweet potatoes and whatnot, or even potatoes, but it's actually not weird when you eat it. Yes, I know I need salt and I need the sauce. I did add salt to the vegetables and to the couscous already. So, just a little measure for good measures. There we go. Dump the sauce in. Leave it upside down just to get the remainder when you come back. Yummy. Try not to get this on a white t-shirt. And sometimes what I'll do is I'll do a chopping motion so that there's clumps of couscous can get breaking up. It is a clumpy mixture. So let's figure out how much this probably cost. $2.50, maybe $1 there, 50 cents there. No more than $7, I would say. $7. Yes, you gotta buy a bag, and you won't use the whole bag, but all right, look at this, look at this, look at this. That's pure vegetables for you. Couscous and sweet potatoes. See the sweet potatoes blended in. And you got, you know, goodness in every bite. You don't really see the mushrooms, so it's not something overwhelming. It's not like a mushroom dish. It's actually too hot to try. And there you go. That's actually a cheap vegetable protein dish. So yeah, I just want to make a little video just speaking about how I feel sometimes. Like right now, I'm craving like pasta with Parmesan cheese, and I was craving chips, and actually I went out and got a bag of chips, and like, I mean, my dad killed the whole bag. So like, I got like half the bag in me, and it's just sometimes you want that saltiness. Like I ate half my bag of chocolate chips in the past 2 days. You get these cravings sometimes, and you gotta fight them. You know, so you really want something, but it's like you have to act like you have no money to get it, no way to get it, and you just gotta outweigh it, and it's tough. You got you're like, you try to change your mind, but it comes back to wanting it and craving it. And I'm eating these vegetable, that I have my little cheap vegetable protein dish, but it's like it fills you. You eat, you're like, it's warm, okay, but it's like it's missing something at times. And I guess this is also growing up in a lifestyle where you eat a lot of fast food or processed foods. And when I was on drugs, a bag of chips and candy and soda and takeout was like the way to go. Go to buffets, just pick out. And before I started this, I was eating 4 or 5 meals a day, and I was piling it in. Like, people call me a human shovel, empty leg. And so it's like I'm trying to reduce the quantity of food that I'm eating, so it's like shrinking the stomach back down to more of a normal size. I still eat about 4 meals a day, and I finished already my Cheez-Its in a day, the whole box, so it's like it's counterproductive. All the hard work you put in, you kill it like instantly with like these bag of chips. And once in a while I'll have a soda, but it's gone down. But this craving, it kills, man. So, and you gotta work with the drive. Sometimes you just don't feel like exercising. So, well, today I couldn't exercise. I went and donated blood. So they wrote me off of not doing any strenuous exercise for the remainder of the day. So at least I saved 3 to 4 lives through the donation of blood and all the good benefits it does to your body to do it. My metabolism has to stabilize again because of the lack of blood and all the plasma and all that left. So I'm going through that. Just it's like these foods, these processed foods, these refined foods, they're like a drug. You try to get off of them, but they call you, they crave you. Sometimes I get the craving for a Big Mac, that Big Mac sauce, or a double cheeseburger. You get that craving for like a Tim Hortons hot chocolate. Some of these bag of chips, like you want it. The smell of Subway bread, just Pizza Hut and Domino's, just that warmth in those first few bites. It's like you're driven to be satisfied by these initial bites. The refreshing of a cold Dr. Pepper. It's hard. I've really grew up all my life indulging these things and not even limiting it. It's take as you please. My body could take it, and now cutting off of it, really, it's not fun. And replacing it with these spinach and fruit shakes and with wheat germ that tastes funky. These chlorella that's just horrible. These detox teas that it's like I quit putting honey because it's like I was going through my jar of honey like nothing, and honey's not given these days, So I was like, I quit putting honey in it. It just tastes strong, and and couscous, it's fun, but eating it for like 3 weeks and oatmeal for like 3 weeks is like you crave other things, but it's like I have to fight these cravings, and I have to do a better job of fighting them. It's even towards the night where you give yourself a reason to indulge. You say, I'm watching some videos with my dad. It's nice, and you go after it. And I know the effects are going to show. I know it's not good for me. It's like 26 grams for like 11 chips. 26 grams of fat. I mean, where's the beneficial stuff in that? You get all that salt, and it's just not there for me. And it's like I feel guilty after. I indulged it. It's like smoking a joint or puffing a cigarette or masturbation or speeding. This is just like eating emotions, or it's almost eating the addictive toxins that are in these foods you eat. It's when you stop eating, you crave it even more, I find. And like these, like I could vividly like imagine the taste of the Big Mac, and I always order extra sauce on it. And I take out the pickles to something not to cut the taste, and even the double Big Mac in Texas was the triple Big Mac, man. Oh, you got the supersized fries, the hot fries, and add some salt on them. Don't even need butter when they're fresh, man. I mean, not butter, ketchup. Wash it down with a half Coke, half root beer mixture. It's there. And then for dessert, I get a small McFlurry, and I get like one thing of Smarties and one thing of Oreo mixed in. So it's like you get this crunch, and you get and it's the way. It's so easy to eat this stuff, and then I know you feel horrible, like while eating in like half an hour, and you go crap and like repeat process, and you don't feel like you got the value for money. And I stick on a lot of these things is I stick on childhood memories. I remember when like these candy bars, these chocolate bars, excuse me, really tasted like chocolate. Okay, I'm still filming. They really tasted like chocolate. The sodas really, and there were so many flavors. I grew up in Texas, so you got like vanilla Coke, and you got blue Pepsi, and you had the vanilla Pepsi, you have dark cherry Dr. Pepper. It's like you got so many different wild cherry Pepsis, and it's like you had so much choice. I mean, the chips choices, like people here in Quebec have no clue of the choices that people us in Texas, like in the major cities, had. And I was surrounded by choice, so you can indulge. And when I was younger, I found things tasted better. I don't know if it was because I was at virgin senses, basically, but I found the quality in all restaurants, and pretty much everything has decreased. And like, I guess I kind of grasp onto childhood memories. How good some of these milkshakes tasted like back in the day, or burgers, and like rekindle that youthful feeling, if that makes any sense. But I just find that everything is just like faded away, and you have to really go back to the excuse me, I don't know what's really wrong with my throat, to the essentials, back to going on a farm, raising your animals. And I mean, there's different approaches to organic, but I mean, I have a way of doing it, and when I have my farm, that's the way I'm doing. But to really go back to the essentials, to eat off the farm, keep it local, and be creative with the flavors out there, and get off of these refined foods, these processed foods. I mean, there's processed in there, like really processed. And the thing is, it's cheap. Usually it's very cheap and available, which makes it convenient for someone and very easy for someone to come in and say, 79 cents hot dog, so you get 3 hot dogs, drink a glass of water, and you paid like $4 for your meal. So that's like a cheap meal on the go. But I mean, what's in a hot dog? I mean, I saw a video of hot dogs, how they're made, and I almost threw up. It's really disgusting. And you see these videos of the slaughterhouses and some really gruesome stuff. Not just because it's blood, and it's how they kill them, how they raise, chickens so their legs break, and cows that can't stand because they're so weak from being. It's just cows and just not cows, pigs getting just smashed to pulverized to pieces, and chicken, like baby chickens, just making your chicken nuggets just going through a grinder while they're still alive. It's you got that aspect, but then why do we still do it? We tend to get addicted to that monotone taste. It tastes the same everywhere you go. Go eat a Big Mac, it's probably in our Coca-Cola. It's like a unified taste throughout, and we grow accustomed to this. We said, nacho chips is like Doritos. That's the brand. It says things have been branded. Cola, I think Coca-Cola, that's the brand of cola. That's like the standard you set yourself to. And we've gotten in a society that's trained to recognize brand recognitions. It's Kraft is the cheese. It doesn't taste like Kraft cheese, and it's not cheese. You got these milk brands, and now it's like stepping back and starting with our roots again, and going on a farm and tasting what it is from the source, learning the source, treating the source as you would treat yourself. If we really knew what we were eating, I think a lot of us would stop. And a lot of the causes of pain and cancer, diseases, and death come from what we eat. 1 second. Still rolling. I don't want to keep talking for nothing, so I got to keep checking this camera. Excuse me. One day I'll come up with a better setup. But so that's why I've been trying to eat better these for this year and focus on it. And then I got to look deep down inside. Like I mentioned, you know, I want to rekindle these childhood memories. Like it goes deeper. You know, is there emotions I'm trying to eat? Is there a void that I'm trying to fill that no matter how much I eat, it's not going to satisfy? So I gotta go in prayer and on my knees and find, why do I do what I do? And I've gotten much better than how I used to be. And these are due to deliverances and removal of my sins and forgiving people and removing burdens and anxieties. So it's not an easy process. And things usually get a lot tougher towards nighttime when your energy is less and you tend to be weaker in will. And these are things I gotta fight. So I decided to do a video because, you know what, I don't want to do it when I'm all cheerful. This is like I'm fighting it now. So if you have any comments, any thoughts, any ways that, you know, different people try to address their your cravings, is there an alternative way? I know sometimes the lack of money, lack of access has limited me to get different things like oranges or fruits or bananas to kick the taste. You know, sometimes I like something crunchy and salty. It's like, is there like another solution? Is like some people want to eat dried banana chips, and you know, just give me any ideas to how to deal with these cravings, alternatives, healthier ways to intake, I guess, sugar. Sometimes I remember taking tablespoons and pouring out maple syrup on them and enjoying it that way, trying to get my sugar high. So let me know if y'all struggle with something, if you need any advice to really get spiritual, to see why you're eating something, why you're addicted to something, what do you desire, what memories attached. I'm sure we all can go on this journey together. I love y'all and have a good night. Alright guys, you're gonna have to forgive me for the bumpy video, but I'm in the car right now and you gotta work wherever you can be and wherever you can work. So I got some notes and some verses that I'm gonna read to y'all, and we're gonna work from there. So again, excuse the braking and the acceleration and the bumpy ride and the GPS in the background, but I gotta get this week 3 done. So it's discipline. You gotta work wherever you're at. So I use this opportunity, or else I'm going to be at a place where I'm babysitting and there's going to be children and it's going to be kind of difficult. So, you know what, I'm helping someone to go get their dryer, so I'll use this time. So, here's what's happening. There's this verse in 1 Timothy chapter 4, verse 7 through 8, and this is speaking to what I wanted to talk about on this channel. Was fitness is good, but I wanted to get spirituality as like the #1 thing. First, deal with your spiritual, and then you can work on your health also. Because no matter how fit you are, when you're 99 years old, you're still gonna die, and then that deals with your salvation, whether you're saved or not, and what happens later. So it doesn't matter how physically fit. Now, being physically fit helps. So I'm gonna read you the verse in 1 Timothy, and I'm using the ESV version, so it's the English Standard Version. And let's read it out. Have nothing to do with irreverent. I don't know this word, irreverent. It's not irrelevant, but silly myths. Rather, train yourself for godliness. That's verse 7. Now, verse 8. For while bodily training is of some value, godliness is of value in every way, as it holds promise for the present life and also for the life to come. So, excuse me. They're talking about it's good to work out, it's good to train, but it is not the solution to your salvation. It's your spirituality in Jesus Christ is going to be more important. Now, I have this this monthly service that I get for free, and it's from In Touch. So basically, In Touch Ministries by Dr. Charles Stanley and his son now, I think Andrew or Andy Stanley, excuse me, his son, that's now kind of taking over a bit. And it's a free thing, and basically they send me a devotional every week, and he also sends me a letter it's from the pastor's heart. Now I'm going to read this letter to you. I read it last night. It was from January 2016, so it was for the New Year's. and I thought, wow, this fit exactly with what I wanted to speak with y'all. So I was reading, I'm like, whoa, yeah, I mean, I can't explain it better than he's explaining it. So I'm going to read it. And again, I mentioned this before. It was not because it was a New Year's that I wanted to start this. It was because God put in my heart to work, basically starting January 1st. So it fell that this is, you have a good year ahead of you. Okay, we're still filming. So let's start. Dear Samuel, for those who don't know, that's me. For many people, a new year brings in renewed energy to make some needed changes in their lives. According to Nielsen, the top 2 reasons for last year were to stay fit and healthy and to lose weight. Obviously, the condition and health of our bodies is of great concern to people. But why should what should be a Christian's attitude? And more importantly, what's God's viewpoint regarding the human body? One common misperception among believers is that the Lord is only interested in our souls and spirits. But in reality, He considers every aspect of our humanity important because He created each part. Our physical bodies are the means by which we interact with the world and other people, and with them we give honor to God. He marvelously designed our bodies with miles of blood vessels, coordinated muscles, intricate eyes, and a complex brain, and the unique fingerprints for each person. He is the one who gives us every breath and keeps our heart pumping throughout our lifetimes. In the first century, the Christians in Corinth, the book of Corinthians, believed that I'm trying to read while, the Quebecois roads were kind of bumpy. Believed what many still think today, that the body is that important and we can do whatever we want with it. The Apostle Paul corrected this misconception in Corinthians chapter 6, verses 19 through 20. Do you not know that your body is a temple of the Holy Spirit who is in you, whom you have from God, that you are not of your own, for you have been bought with a price. Therefore glorified God in your body. In this short passage, there are 4 basic truths that reveal Lord's perspective on the body. First of all, our bodies are the temple of the Holy Spirit, which is verse 19. This fact alone speaks volume about the value of God's eyes, because this is where He has chosen to dwell. Whatever we do and wherever we go, He is in us. Therefore, using our body in any act of sin or immorality desecrates His holy temple. Second point, God owns our bodies. Satan wants us to think, this is my body, no one else has the right to tell me what I can do or can't do with it. However, since humanity is God's crowning creation, made in His image, we all rightfully belong to Him, and must someday give an account to Him for our lives. Speaking of Christ, Colossians 1:16 says, all things have been created through Him and for Him, because our entire being was made for Him. He has the right to dictate how we are to use our bodies, whether we acknowledge His authority or not. Let's flip to the backside. Stuck on Shakatse Bridge, traffic time, so any major city, it sucks. Third, we have been purchased by Christ. The price He paid to save us from His blood shed was His blood shed for us on the cross. With this act of redemption, He restores our spirits in the right relationship with the Father. Began the process of transforming our souls into His image, and promised to one day redeem our physical bodies through resurrection. Because of the consequences of sin, we currently suffer from weakness, disease, aging, and eventual death. But God considers the physical aspect of our being so valuable that He has promised to transform the body of our humble state into conformity to the body of His glory, which is Philippians chapter 3, verse 21. At the resurrection, we will be raised imperishable in the glory of His power, which is 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verses 42 and 43. Still rolling. Finally, God created our bodies for a purpose, to bring glory and honor to Him. This is the guiding principle for all that we do. We only have one body which to serve and honor the Lord, so we need to do what we can to care for it properly. Earlier in my life, I believed that the way to glorify God was to work hard as I can for Him. This is speaking of Dr. Charles Stanley. Getting up early to study, being busy all day, and staying up late to finish whatever needed to be done. With such a schedule, it is no wonder I started to wear myself down and become sick. I wanted God to heal me quickly so I can get back to my preaching, but His goal was to help me see that this was not the only way He wanted me to treat my body. By neglecting it and misusing it, I was actually limiting my ministry. The Lord designed our bodies to function with adequate rest, good nutrition, and appropriate exercise so we can have the health and strength to complete the work He's called us to do. Although doing these things is no guarantee of good health, neglecting them increases our chances of illness and weakness. The wisest approach is to do our best and take care of our bodies and leave the rest to the Lord. So, are you treating your body as God desires? The required discipline may seem burdensome unless you remember that it is a good way to glorify the Lord. My motivation is to do whatever required to stay in the best health possible so I can continue to preach the gospel for as long as God gives me the breath. He has a calling for you too. May this truth encourage you and motivate you to take care of your body in a manner that honors Him. Alright, so we went through the verses here. Let's check if it's still running. Yes, sir. So, with that being said, I wanted to take care of my body so I can glorify God. I wanted to be there for my children at an older age and make sure physically I can kind of keep up. You know, I didn't want to die at a young age. I didn't want to be limited because of my body. Now, there's a couple other reasons, but they're kind of personal. You know, obviously I want to be able to pleasure my wife, so being out of shape is going to limit certain pleasures that she can have. You know, I think she deserves more than someone who lets go of his temple, you know, to run down house basically. So I wanted to not keep up with the Jones. I wanted just to keep up maintenance and just the cleanliness inside of me, and let it show, and do it for her, do it for my children, do it for God, and that, you know, other people eat from what you sow. And you know, if I'm sowing negative stuff really in myself, I'm going to give off these bad fruits. Now, there's this verse, and I forgot which verse my father mentioned to me, was basically, sorry for the breaking, was that righteousness is going to bring good health and sin's going to bring bad health. That's kind of the ruler stick that you should go by. Basically, you sin, there's going to be some negative things and sins to reflect upon your health and the health of others, and vice versa. Being righteous is going to bring in these good attributes. And now I've felt that for my life, the peace, the joy, and all the stress. And you know, I used to always be out of place and my bones and ligaments, and then from being resistant and stiff-necked and just not being in sinful situations took me out of damaging, you know, smoking and drug related stuff. And you know, I could have damaged my body through, you know, accidents. So sin destroys while righteousness builds up. So we'll start with that. Now I'm going to start with what happens later, what happened earlier this week, excuse me. So talking about health and all this, what did I do this week? So I said in week 2 that I wanted to up my game, and I upped my game physically, and it feels good. I can say my body feels much better. It feels tighter. I don't feel bloated. I know I still got weight to lose. That's evident, but I feel I'm progressing. And considering that fitness for the exterior is not the only thing I focus on, I think I'm progressing well. The other part was nutrition, where I've been trying to get better, but I've been fighting these cravings and it seems that the more calories you burn, the more your body wants to eat. And I'm battling that, because sometimes you want a quick fix of something to eat, or you want something that tastes different than the big meals that you made prepared for all your week. And if you don't have meat, then you're craving more protein. And you know, I've been getting these protein craves because, you know, financially meat has not been high in my availability list, nor do I want to abuse meat because of the cholesterol, how they make it, and you know how long it takes to break down in your body. So okay, we're still filming. So I feel better now. Detoxing, I'm not able to get any more chlorella powder, and I'm running out of tea, so my detoxing is kind of coming to a pause right now. But from that, there's a transition period of being on it and getting off of it, and I do not feel like a large downward gap in energy and feelings, you know, being taken off a supplement and going to one extreme. I feel it was like a smooth transfer from not taking it, and I feel better. I feel more awake in my mind, more active, more alert and sharp. And yes, I can associate that to the omega-3 ginkgo and ginseng, but it's also to the detoxing. I'm going to attribute that. So because I'm not detoxing, I know I'm going to have less farts, less having to pee a lot, so that's kind of convenient. Now when a financial availability comes back, I'm going to start detoxing a different way, but I have not fully let go of it, because indirectly I've been detoxing still, and that's through the juices and the blending stuff that I do. Why I say that is because berries, a lot of my berries I drink, you know, I got blackberry, blueberry, grapes, melons, strawberries, raspberries, pineapple, peach, and I have these in my juices. Now they have most of them contain antioxidants plus the fiber. You know, broccoli was supposed to be a good liver food, and kale was supposed to be a good liver food, and these are things that I put in my diet already. So these are supposed to naturally help your liver in the development, and it contains fiber, which is like a binder material to your crab. And so this fiber is going to help you poop, and poop comes from your liver. I mean, it's developed in your liver, so indirectly you work on your liver already and the antioxidants that help, but it's not a concentrated form like chlorella. I don't want to say these other weird names like yeah, let's not even go there. So what else have I been doing? Computer setup. Now I'm almost set up. I'm waiting for a technician to come over and hook up my internet, so I'll be able to do this at home, which is more convenient for me, and it will save me time and speed and effort and frustrations of slow computers and overrun RAMs and whatnot. That's almost done. I bumped my head into the computer. It wasn't exactly what I wanted when I ordered it from, you know, a place about an hour from here in Laval, and didn't have any HDI port or Wi-Fi receiver and things of that nature, and it was in French. The system, Microsoft, was in French, so I got to fix some of these things, and it didn't come with Movie Maker, so I can't use it right away. So I'm fixing that up. My place is almost going to be done. So yeah, that's pretty much it. God's really been challenging me this week. I had to make some really important decisions, and I have to be obedient. No matter what's being said around me by others, what people think, God asked me to do something, and I got to do it. So He's challenged my father and I, and it's these tests of faith, but he's always going to be there. You know, he told me I'm gonna bring you to, you know, through the valleys of death, and I'm going to bring you to green pasture hills, but nonetheless I'm going to be with you in both of them. So we expect this Christianity to be this really smooth road, brand new pavement with no speed limit, and that's not necessarily true, because Christ was called to afflictions and He was called to blessings. And it was not according to my sin that I'm in these tough situations. God wanted His glory to be seen, and He tests us through faith. Now, if it was easy all the way around, there wouldn't really be no need of faith, and they could be pretty much self-sufficient and do it ourselves, which most people do. So I've been really being challenged, and I'm still dealing with things inside of me, and I've been dealing with some of my anger, and I've been, you know, getting more and more to these core pieces, and then removing them and having God replace them. Dealing with the subjectiveness to women and my anger towards a woman in life, and, you know, a lack of their submission to men and to others. But us men, I challenge y'all to first be submissive to Christ, to God first, before you expect a woman to be submissive to you. You know, and you're supposed to be submissive to your wife also. So is it good? So it works both ways, the submissive stuff. So what am I gonna head into in week 4? Hopefully the computer is gonna be up. And that's gonna save me time, and what I do in my week and where I go in my week is gonna kind of dictate what else I'm gonna do. So if I'm home more often, I'll be able to access my gym much easier, and I could be at home, so I can control more what I eat than being out elsewhere. I should be able to increase my efficiency through everything by week 4. I think I wanted to do in week 5 an update on my health. See if I can find anywhere local, place I can do body composition, so that I can compare it with the one I began with. But I want to do it in week 5 because I say there's 50 weeks in a year, and I want to divide it by 10. So it's like every 5 weeks I wanted to do a test, so you can have 10 bookmark points from me, 10 chapters in my life, and we'll work from there. So I gotta find a place first that does body compositions, and preferably for free. What else? Well, I don't know. I just gotta do what I gotta do. So it's progression. Keep going. If you have any advice, I would love to hear it. Thank y'all for listening.